Ratchet Clank's back. 2002 was the first Ratchet Clank. A bunch of Ratchet Clanks come out since then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 or 12, I think.
Is that including like the HD remaster and when was that?
No, it includes one of the collections, yeah.
Okay.
They had All for One, that four-player thing.
That must be the one thing.
Quest for Booty, Tools of Destruction.
Full Frontal Assault.
Yep, Up Your Arsenal.
That one's really good.
So many. But they've taken away the quippy subtitles and just gone for straight up Ratchet and Clank. So this is like a reimagining of the original game.
It's almost like they pulled all their resources and developments over the years and remade essentially more or less the same game as far as like plot and like different planets, but pulled in a lot of different weapons throughout the years of the series.
Right, which is like perhaps the most entertaining thing about Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, definitely one of them.
All the crazy ones that they've put in there. I'm assuming there is a Groovatron in this game. Yeah?
Oh my God.
I was using it last night. I'm right at the end of the game, and I was using it against like the bosses, and because I assumed it wouldn't work on the giant bosses, but it still does, and they all
still
have
does.
like, their own dances. It's really dumb, but it's awesome.
It's like my experience having actually not played any of the games in the series. Getting thrown into this game was like one of the like my highlights of the year. The game just blew me away. It was it's something different. It's not Division, where it's like depressing nature. This is like a colorful, vibrant game with just so much charisma and fun. This is fun, and it's addicting. I beat it twice. I beat the game twice.
It's weird. I had a similar thing with the PlayStation 3 games where I had not really played, like I always own PlayStations, but for some reason just never got into Ratchet and Clank. And then I played some of the ones on PS3 and let's talk about one of the, I guess, main talking points of these games whenever they come out. Ratchet and Clank has always been like a really great looking series. Like for whatever reason, Insomniac have just been able to like make really fantastic looking games. This one from the trailers looks pretty gorgeous too. Do you guys think?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like everything about that game just like stands out. I think I like having looked at the original. They've changed up the planets a little bit. Like same planet name, same level design. For instance, one of the planets is like in this game is like a very much a snow planet. In the previous, it's just more of a dark, gloomy one, which was kind of what I'm trying to say is they basically rearranged the planets in a very awesome way. Where like when you get to the snow planet, just before you've played a very orange, gassy lava planet,
right?
You know what I mean? So as the game goes on, like you kind of get eventually kind of worn out on this one planet, and then to flip it to the snow one was like, yes.
Like really different, like strike contrasting palettes kind of between each one.
Yeah, and each planet is everything like that. So you just kind of go through, and it's just a really fun ride.
Does it play like a bunch of the old Ratchet and Clank games? I mean, we're seeing a lot of returning weapons. It's a 3D action platform at the end of the day. Does it feel very familiar? Does there a lot of new stuff in it? I see the rail sliding is back in it.
They took the best part of all the, as the games progressed and just implanted it on the first game. It's very much like a Resident Evil remake. It's still the same game, but it's very much updated. There's new things added in to keep the people who were on board right from the beginning interested, but also bring in new players like Rob.
Right.
But it's very much, like the first game didn't have a aiming reticle. It was just very pure third person. So the gun would shoot whatever direction Ratchet was facing and not necessarily where the camera was facing. Yeah. So then they introduced that option.
That was probably because PlayStation 1 games, there wasn't that much screen to play with.
And then in Going Commando, they threw that in. And then Up Your Arsenal, that was like the default. But so having that now and being able to, still swing the wrench in any direction, but pulling, having the reticle itself just feels so good. It makes it feel, what we're used to now with like 2 analog shooters and everything. It feels like they took everything they learned from the series and just put it back on the original game, which is a really good feeling to see these planets again. As someone who played that, I think I played Ratchet and Clank on release day back in 2002, and it feels really good to kind of keep the rose tinted glasses on, which is a really nice feeling.
Yeah, this is like how you imagine.
Yeah, but we get so many remakes or up-res games now. And it's not like movies where you wait 30 years before you do it. Games were pretty young, so you could do it after 14 years or anything. But
just at the Uncharted collection, for God's sake. Yeah,
sure. And it's as someone who's been with the series a really long time, it's really refreshing to see a new palette, but also just remember how bad it might have felt. But it feels great right now.
Some criticisms in the Twitch chat about the fact that they've locked it to 30 frames a second as well. I think it was Digital Foundry were speculating that would be to give it a more cinematic feel, so it would feel a bit more like the movie. Did that bother you guys at all, having this luscious world, but it having a relatively low
You know
frame rate.
what's funny is when we streamed the demo, which we got a while ago, someone had asked that same question: "Is this 60 frames?" And I said, "Yeah, I think it is."
Right, you couldn't
But
tell.
You couldn't tell,
Yeah.
and there's absolutely no frame drops. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like it's a very fluid, polished looking game.
I guess you animate to like you can animate to a frame rate. That's going to sound like the most stupid thing in the world, but like
No,
you
you're
can
right.
animate, to sort of plug those gaps, right? And it's a very well animated
Right.
series, so presumably this game.
And it almost glorifies the animations of these characters. Like you're basically able to get away with the cartoony nature of motion blur, which is like a very prominent thing in animation and cartoons. I feel like, and in turn, it gives the game more like a breathing cartoon, which like I absolutely love.
There's a really good link that just got posted in the chat, actually, which I think has been modded, so I'll pop it back in myself, actually, from Black Noise, which is Insomniac actually posting about if frame rate matters back in 2009. And there's a bunch of like interesting sort of statistics out of it saying that it does not significantly affect sales of the games or reviews of the games or anything like that. I mean, that must be something they knock their heads off against. A lot. At the start, we were talking about how these games have always been really good looking. Like that's something we've known about them for a long time, or something we've associated with these games for a long time. So presumably, that's actually a big part of it. Is not worrying necessarily about the frame rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a weird case actually playing this remake. It's one of the few games where the way it looks when you're playing it actually to me looks better than the cutscenes, because the cutscenes are the one place I don't like this game. It's actually really weird remembering which cutscenes were in the original game and seeing them now. They didn't really do a ton to them to actually, like in animation wise, the original conversation when you meet the plumber or you meet Big Al, it's still weird because Ratchet won't really move that much. He'll just kind of move his eyes up and down like a Mass Effect 1 character.
Right.
But the new cutscenes look great. There's the part where this warship explodes and the smoke looks like almost out of place in this game. It looks really good.
Right.
But when you're actually playing it and Ratchet is jumping around and you're avoiding people and pulling out the pyrocitor to just burn people, it looks... I would say like the gameplay itself looks better than the cutscenes almost. Maybe not in a traditional sense, but I enjoyed it more.
Well, there are also kind of two levels of cutscenes, right? You got your actual clips from the movie,
Right.
Yeah.
and then you got your more
Like in engine.
basically, well, like more because there's a lot more that happens. We'd seen the movie, we can't talk about it, but there's a lot more that happens in the game, and so you're getting like planets that are in this game. I'm trying to like not talk about it.
Are you not allowed to talk about the movie at all?
No.
I really, really want to talk
It's
to you guys
embargoed
about
until
the
the
movie.
movie doesn't come out till the
28th.
29th, so we're not supposed to talk about the movie until the 28th.
Okay.
Sorry, Vice. Yeah. And
Right.
But these cutscenes are awesome. The
Yeah.
ones that are from the movie, they're super funny, and these are the ones that are really well done. And then what I'm trying to get at are these other cutscenes, which are like, you meet these side characters that, again, the nature of like the gameplay feels more alive than these like very like, I don't know how to say it other than like there's not much animation going on. It's just like a couple of like generic like shrugs. I think that's what you were getting at. Like,
So can you tell when the ones are from the movie?
yeah, I was just gonna get to
Wait,
that.
like
There-
if you
100%.
if you hadn't seen the movie, could you
Yes.
tell which ones were in the
If
movie?
you- like knowing there's a movie that they're billing the game as a game based on a movie, which is based on the 2002 game. Which is, if it's confusing, it should be.
So it's Street Fighter the movie the game.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's when
yeah.
you're playing the game, especially like I can talk about this because there are cutscenes that just serve the purpose of setting up the next gameplay sequence, or just they feel very much like they're bookending these planets. When
Yeah.
you get an infobot that leads you to a new planet,
Right.
you're like, this makes sense in the game, but then you'll see this cutscene that doesn't really. It's supposed to add color to the characters and make the story better. It's supposed to, but you're like, this is clearly made for the movie. This is not a cutscene. This is a scene that is supposed to be in this overarching narrative, and they feel a little out of place.
So I know you can't talk about the movie. So I'm going to ask you.
Trying not
So what I kind of want to know is how many of these movie cutscenes are in the game?
Like, I'd say a little less than half the cutscenes you see in the game are from the movie.
So how much
Or,
time are we
total
talking
runtime.
about? Wait,
Like
look,
total time of cutscenes.
total time
total
in the
ti-
game.
that looks
Okay,
like
I
it
will
might be
say-
from a movie.
That looks like it might be from the movie. I'd say about like
Half an hour?
Like half an hour of the
a
movie.
little
or in the
more.
game.
A little
Yeah.
more.
Right.
Probably more, I'd say.
Okay, I can't wait to have you guys on to talk about the movie because
Yeah.
presumably presumably anyone who's played the game has seen a third of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder.
A little more than a
don't know.
third, I'd say.
Yeah,
That's being, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys play the game or watch the movie first?
the movie.
I played the demo. Or we played the demo before the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So
then,
we had seen.
But
Yeah.
I had played the original game before I saw the movie.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sorry.
The game is so good. I love the game.
Game is really good.
It's just awesome game. Just I have to say like actually I don't know where I'm going with this other than I just want people to play this game. I think it's like a must-have for a PS4.
Right.
owner. I really do. I think the humor is like pretty great. It's very self-aware. You know, you get this
They've
Captain.
always been sharp. Yeah.
Oh, like the Captain Quark character.
Oh, yeah.
Like makes you laugh.
Super
like,
self-aggrandizing.
yeah, and like he's basically hyping up your tedious gameplay of like I smash boxes for. Well, by the way, all the ratchets and coins you amount is like crack. You just go. I go out of every corner looking for every little like nook and cranny to get that stuff. And right off the bat, you do that, and he like has some line of dialogue like. His love for destruction of property was through the roof, and you're just like, hey, he's talking about.
That's
me.
how they contextualize the game now. It's as if Quark is in prison after the events of the later games, and he's recounting this story, but he's narrating it. So instead of giving you this tutorial on screen or the tutorial voice, it's him. He'll be like, Ratchet, use the triangle button to pull up his weapon to get through the enemies.
You're kidding.
His destination, destiny.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really funny.
Destiny.
Those jokes in the game are really funny.
Yeah, I
good.
laugh aloud a bunch of times.
Excellent.
Yeah.
To go to the old unreliable narrator as well. That's good. All right, so I get Ratchet Clank out today on PlayStation 4.
That's right.
Yeah, play it.
And we'll have you back on to talk about the movie in the not too distant future, I guess. Couple of weeks.
In a month, yeah.
Wonderful. All right, in a month.
End of the month, excuse
End
me.
of the month. All right, okay.
In 2 months.
Okay, but if you want to see some of the movie now, play Ratchet and Clank. Sounds like. All right, let's. Also, sorry, there is a review up on GameSpot.com as well. Cassidy Mosier did it. 8 out of 10. You can go check that out right now as well. And a video review.